Hello and welcome to Northworthy Sagas and Stories. I am your host for today. I am Braggy, the Viking. And yes, I am a warrior and I'm a teller of stories and folk tales. And I'm with a very good Viking.
Oh, me, yeah. Oh, I'm Egil. I'm a trader, warrior, rootcaster, and of course a bit of a storyteller.
Indeed. Yes.
Yeah, really time to.
Well, you may be saying, what are we here today for, Braggy?
Why are we here
And
today
Egil.
for, Braggy? And
Well,
Egil.
this is the trailer review of the second season of The Last Kingdom. So,
I'm looking forward to seeing it.
yes, have you not seen the second season yet?
I don't think I have. I've seen all.
You've seen the
Viking-
first season?
Yeah, I saw the first one.
So you will get a few spoilers, but you know, it's
doesn't matter.
it's a great
Yeah.
season, and I'm really looking forward to season 3 actually.
Same
but
here.
we'll,
Yeah.
we'll discuss that another time.
It's
Anyway,
always good to have somebody doing the Dark
Yeah.
Ages.
well, I think any kind of film or TV series talking about the Dark Ages and getting people talking about it and watching content about it on YouTube is
Yeah.
fantastic. You know, we need to remember such things. This is our heritage.
It's
And
what
without,
made us what we
without
are today.
heritage, who would we be? So we've looked earlier. Me and Egil watched a trailer, and I will link that in a comment and pin it, and I will also leave it in the description. And no doubt this will be hashtagged The Last Kingdom as well. So the first scene we saw was the longship scene. It was in very stormy weather, and
It was
our
effective.
hero,
Yeah.
Uhtred, is now a slave.
Yeah.
What do you thought about that, Egil?
I thought it was very good to set the scene. I personally, I thought he should have had maybe an iron ring.
Collar.
Yeah, and his hair may have been shaved, but
Would they
that's
not
been
on a ship remove the iron collar, or would they just continue using that?
continue using it. I'm guessing anyway, because it would be riveted on because they were somebody's.
Oh, definitely
property.
so.
Hey, whatever. It looked good.
It did look good, and the ship looked effective as well. It was, you know, a really decent ship.
Must have been horrible making it with no shirt on and all that water flying.
I mean,
around.
I would dread to imagine what it would have been like in a longship. You heard it there first. In a longship, if you're out in the stormy weather, let's say you're between Greenland and Iceland, I couldn't think of a worse possible area to be in.
Well, to be honest,
So-
I've been on a long ship in the Irish Sea with a
Yes.
4.5 foot swell, and it was great.
That's yeah.
A lot of people were being sick around me because I thought I would have been, but no, I didn't.
No, I got good sea legs when I went sea fishing. Everybody was sick apart from me.
Yeah, feeding
And
the
if
fish.
I had a decent fishing rod, I would better get some fish. But naturally, you go on these cheap fishing tours and you don't get a good rod. Anyway, that's a lot off subject. And the next scene we see is the slave. You know, like I said, the collar, he looks good. He looks mucky. He looks like he's been through. You know, Uhtred has been through some bad times.
Yes, yeah.
Which kind of sets the beginning of the season as well, so that's
Yeah.
great. And then we go to the next scene. This is the beach scene, and I'm not sure you know, but that beach scene is like a slavers' market
Oh, right.
where they're
that's what it
buying
was.
slavers, and at some point a year ahead of after Uhtred is taken prisoner, they somehow without telling you too much meet on the beach to save him.
Oh,
So
right.
that's what the scene is, and you got the battle scene of that. So I thought overall that's a good scene. Would they have met on beaches, slavers?
Yeah, well, I mean, basically, yes, because you draw your ship up and you don't want to
Yeah.
go too far inland because you've got to look after your ship and everything.
Well, I suppose you slave with your income and therefore worth money, so and you won't want to risk having them taken off you. So yeah, so I thought that was good. The tent looked good, and the guy with a nice gambeson.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't see enough gambesons on Hollywood movies, but I think they are picking them up now because they are not only easy to manufacture if you're from Hollywood and you've got the budget to buy a load, but also, you know, very effective. So it's nice to see that. And then the next scene we see is there's a house, and there's Uhtred. He's bare-chested. He looks like he's had a walk, got up. I can't quite remember from the series, and it's very dark in there, which I do like.
Yeah.
and there's some basic furniture. It doesn't look like they've just been to some random storage depot for furniture and just grabbed a few things. I've actually thought about this. And
it looked okay to me, and I mean, it suddenly occurred to me the reason he's wet
yes,
is he shows up on the camera. If he wasn't, he'd sort of blend in a bit
well,
more.
maybe so. I'm not sure. I can't remember now.
Yeah,
And also the windows. Remember the shutters?
sure.
Yeah, they were quite decent as well.
Well, somebody at least made the attempt.
Good. When we say decent, we mean good. I like that word decent. It's decent. Anyway, so there's a more wise words for myself there. So yeah, I like the house, and I thought that was a very good scene, lit by candlelight. And the next scene we see is Uhtred and the lady. I can't remember who the lady is at hand. And we could have looked into that a bit further, but
We don't want the channel closing down.
No, it's not a matter of that. It's just a matter I don't know
it's
who
the
she
other
is.
scene. Oh, right, it's the other
Yeah,
scene.
we've not done the cheesy scene.
Oh, right.
Anyway, so I thought that was good. The atmosphere, the candlelight, Uhtred was talking to this nice lady, overall sets the scene, and we see that repeated again. We often do this.
What was good about that, the woman wasn't made up.
No, not a lot of makeup
Yeah.
like you would see on some of these
Well, I
programs.
mean, that's one of the faults of
series.
the old programs is, they're all made up. The women are anyway.
Yeah, so I like that. So, but one issue I thought from that was yet again, although we know Uhtred's not long had a wash, but people are too clean. You're living in, to a degree, a fairly mucky society.
Yeah, but again, I think that might be so that they show up better on camera.
Well,
'Cause
maybe
if-
so.
That's
If you've got a mucky face and you're in a
Yeah.
dark scene, you might not show
Yeah.
up. But, so, yeah,
possibly.
Then again, I suppose you're saying, well, look at you two, we're both looking clean, but then again, we live in the modern world,
I don't
and we're
know.
not dressed as Vikings.
I'm not shaved today.
I had a shave earlier,
I'm Stubbly Joe.
but I didn't use any soap when I washed my face.
Ooh.
Anyway, well, we are Vikings, after all. So that was good. And then we see a kind of a close-up of some people marching to what I think is York, Eorflick in
Yeah,
Saxon times, am I correct?
Yeah.
And it's a column of soldiers basically.
I'll be honest, I couldn't tell whether they were Saxons or Vikings, but
I would say Vikings.
that's fair enough. I mean, it's
Yeah, but the problem is that at this point, Uhtred's brother and his band of merry Vikings are working with Ulfrid in a way, with Uhtred.
the
So
mercenaries.
I think it is Uhtred and his column marching to fight at York and to take it back, basically, for the King of Northumbria, who, betrayed him and sent him off to be a slave. What a king he was. Anyway,
Yeah, that's
I
good to me.
digressed on that. So I thought that was good. Nice flags, banners we call them, and different sorts of weapons, haircuts. Jolly good.
Yeah.
And then there's a close-up then of Uhtred, and you see bits of makeup around his eyes. Want to talk about that?
Well, this is one of the ongoing
I'll have a drink.
debates. Did the Vikings wear makeup or not?
I know this is a big debate, and it's
Yeah.
speculation that they did.
I think possibly if they did, it would be like war paint, like the North American Indians. You have war paint. I think that would be more likely. I may be totally wrong. I don't know. Perhaps somebody out there could tell us. But
Well, until there's enough evidence, one day we may find that answer out for sure.
I know one Viking who won't be wearing it, even if they did.
Yes, well,
I'm not that kind of guy. I just
No.
don't do it.
no. So yes, yeah. But what reminded me of this scene is, I don't know why, when I saw the close-up of Uhtred in his eyes, I just got this thought in my mind of Pirates of the Caribbean,
Yeah,
and I don't know why.
it's his eyes.
It's
the
his
way-
eyes. I think that's very clever.
Yeah.
That is by these
Yeah.
Hollywood people. But of course now it's owned by Netflix, so that's very exciting. It's going to be interesting to see where they go with this series.
Yeah.
So I thought that was great. And then the next scene we see is our hero, Uhtred,
Yeah.
and Father Bjorka, and they're like talking down this little lane, and then we see something which we often see in Hollywood and which we do not really like. and that is the backsword.
Yeah.
I mean, yet again, the hero's carrying around with a big sword on his back. I mean, if I did that in the Dark Ages, someone would just come up and say, "Bragi, you're looking like a right idiot. Don't put your sword on your back," wouldn't they?
Well, yeah.
Possibly.
I mean, it's a way of getting killed very quickly in a fight.
Yeah,
so,
well, we've already digressed many a time why it's not very effective, but we will do a video on this subject of the backsword. So, I don't know why. I suppose they want to show off that he's a warrior by showing that he's got a big sword on his back. So I think a lot of it's to do with that.
I think you find a lot of warriors like that wear swords like that in war games, computer games.
I mean, there's speculation that, well, if you're riding a horse, is that not the most effective position for a sword to be? I don't think so. I prefer to have a sword slung by my side and have a shield on my back.
Where you can get at it. Get at it quickly.
So, the size horse for the period was normally, horses were a lot smaller.
Yeah,
so,
but I think we can forgive them that. It's, you know.
We can forgive them for that, because let's face it, there's, you know, trying to find good trained horses is not easy. You know, lots of trained horses they're using reenactment are actually ex-military or ex-police horses, and they don't really have small ones, do they?
Well, the only horses that size are Exmoor ponies, and they're wild ponies, and it's not fair to.
And of course, just on this little scene of the hero Uhtred, we see his sword pommel again, which is really
that cheap bit of glass.
Well, I think they've done that so that we know it's who it belongs to. It's Uhtred. That's the hero, the main character. That's his sword.
Yeah, he could have had
but he could have had one like this and just
a necklace.
Just been not like a normal person.
Yeah.
But never mind. But I mean, the sword itself was quite nice. But to me, would you want a nice big amber ball on the end of your sword? You can't really hit somebody with it, can you?
Well,
you know, you can't go and do this like that and jab it down on somebody. You know, ooh, like that.
Steady. Have a drink of water. Sorry about this, viewers. Gets a little
Bragi goes berserk.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's another video to come, possibly. Anyway, so there's that. Yeah, so but in the first season trailer we talked about the sword. So then the next scene we see is a battle scene.
I like the battle
lots
scenes.
of action.
Yeah, they really go for it. I mean, allowing for the fact they're probably using aluminium swords. That's
possibly.
But it looks really effective to see all those people together. I hope nobody was hurt.
Well, I hope not. Accidents do happen during these things.
But it looked really effective.
It couldn't do.
No, well, it didn't look staged in any way.
No, you know, the kind of the mixed up combat of individuals fighting each other. You know, it was very dramatic and kind of caught the eye for the season. You kind of knew that there was lots of action going on.
Oh yeah,
lots of fights, and everybody loves a good fight.
Everybody was doing their thing, and it was really good. So congratulations on that one.
Then we see the next scene where very quickly you see the heroes, 3 of them on the horses riding away. I can't remember where they're going. I'm sure somebody will tell us that in a comment. And then, they're going up north to Northumbria, I think. And then they're entering the longhouse of the palace of the King of Northumbria. And, you know, it's a nice dark scene again in the longhouse.
Yeah, that's one of the problems.
The door looks a bit flimsy.
I think it's one of the problems the filmmakers must have, is that everywhere indoor scenes are very dark, and how do you get around it?
Yes.
So, you know, I mean, kudos to them. They did a good job in my view. Some of the, like you say, the doors looked a bit plywoody.
Yeah, the door did to me.
And that grill, what? I don't
Well,
get
the
that.
lattice work in the windows.
That's possibly it then.
I mean, there's no real evidence of that, is there?
No, but there's no.
But then again, it probably would have rotted, so it wouldn't be.
Well, it's just what they did.
I don't think Bede went around writing about lattice windows, did he?
It was not hot on soft furnishings.
No.
Most of them there, colour schemes.
Bad Bede. He could have wrote about furniture. Anyway, so I digress there again on Bede. Anyway, so yeah, I thought that was very good. And then you see the next scene of the city, and there's a big church of stone.
That's what I had an issue with, because Anglo-Saxon
Did it?
churches were small, timber built.
Timber built buildings, weren't they?
Yeah, there was a big change to stone, but that was later on, way after these guys.
That'll be the late 9th, 10th century.
Yeah, and it's huge for a stone church. I mean, look at the size of Westminster Abbey, and that was considered massive.
Well, would it have been like a Roman building converted to a church? I don't think so.
Romans, but by the time the Romans left, they got purpose-built churches anyway. No, it was just a little OTT, but okay, you know, the world isn't going to crash into the sun because of that.
And this is York, so, and we see the hero, and he's fighting with two blades. He's got a sword in his right hand, because he's right-handed, but in his left hand he's got his scram sacks, but his scram sacks has got basically an end of a sword with a big cross guard.
Scram sacks is a knife, single-edged, no guard. It's a slashing weapon rather than a stabbing. Now what this chap has got is essentially a sword been cut down. Maybe they did, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's no evidence archaeologically.
So if I got my sword and it broke here,
yeah,
they would not have just put a nice angle on it and made it into a knife. I don't think so, because I think these parts were more valuable on a new sword. Yeah. Myself, personally.
Or they may have taken those fittings as payment for doing it.
And then they would have broken the blade up and made blades out of the knife. And actual knives, not just
I'm not saying it never happened.
It may have happened, yeah.
But we don't have any archaeological evidence to substantiate it.
The problem is we know so little what did happen. Then we can just speculate about these things.
And it's always dangerous to speculate. And also to say this is what it was, because you'll find something next week that disproves it.
Yeah, and again he had his eye makeup on, kind of emphasising his eyes, which you know some Vikings did not do. So if you're going to get into Viking reenactment, don't expect to go and wear eye makeup.
Yeah.
You don't want to volunteer to have a go?
Definitely not, thank you.
Yes, we heard that first here on the channel.
I don't approve of makeup.
So the kind of fighting in the city, and then after this we see another scene of Uhtred and the woman lit by candlelight talking again from earlier. So yet again kind of setting dialogue going on, which of course would be happening. And then there's more of a battle scene again from...
Very effective.
This is the one from above where you see them fighting.
Still a good shot.
It's just very effective how they move about and fight.
I don't know whether it was CGI or not.
No, I think that was real.
But it looked good. I enjoyed that.
I wonder if they use drones now for these fighting scenes. That's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
So I thought that was good. I love a good fighting scene, and I love, you know, and this is partly what we watch these films for, because let's face it, the Dark Ages was well known for being an age of fighting and battles.
Well, it's the formation of states, and those states are born without blood, are they?
Well, no. And then we see Uhtred and his brother, and his brother's got an axe in the air, and he's wearing a lot of fur. Too much fur, and he's like addressing his men.
It was a bit
decent, but too much fur.
But he looked the part though.
And then, like in the scene where you got a lot of men, I think in the city, you see some warrior, and he's got like a rectangular shield again. And we talked about this in the first trailer review.
I understand why they did it.
And we do understand.
Yeah.
But I think they could have been a little bit more clever about this and just done round shield and just had a different painting pattern on each of for the Vikings and Saxons. That would have been my route.
They may have had a job, a lot of square shields.
Well, maybe so, you don't know. You know. And then the next scene we see is the King of Northumbria and Uhtred in the Longhouse. And Uhtred at this point is very angry with him, because let's face it, if you've been sold into slavery by some king,
miffed.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be shouting at him. There'd be a bit of blood spilt.
I think it was being very lenient with him, to be fair.
Yeah.
But he really didn't have much choice, because he probably would have cost him his life if he killed him.
Well, it would sort of upset the apple cart, wouldn't it?
I don't think Uhtred would have been too happy, would he?
No.
No, so there's that. And then we see another Viking attacking the gates, and they're kind of like in a group with a shield on top.
Oh, the testudo.
Testudo. What is that then, Eggle?
Well, it's a Roman move called the tortoise.
Yeah.
And when you're attacking, you put your shields above your head, and battery at the gates.
Yeah, I mean, we've all kind of seen this in films.
Yeah, and you know, people say, "Oh, well, that was Roman." Well, yeah, it was. But so, the Viking swineherd, where they go in a boar snout,
Yes.
is actually originally the Spartan arrow, which is Roman.
And what's a swineherd? Have you not heard of a swineherd?
It's again.
Hold that for him. Cheers.
Your line goes like that, and then it goes into a wedge,
a V shape,
and you smash in. But the thing is, once you've done it, and you roll up the line, you've got to keep going, otherwise you're dead meat. And the testudo, why not? It makes common sense.
Well, it just makes common sense, you know.
I mean, if somebody's throwing things on your head and you've got a shield, what are you going to do? Put your hand
well, have some on your head and some on your side, and protect the men around you while you got a battering ram.
And then back home for tea and medals.
Well, maybe so.
But you know what I mean? Using that, it makes this common sense. So yeah.
But overall, it's a brilliant little scene that.
I liked it.
And then we see the scene of the warrior on fire. So
good luck. I don't know who you are, mate, but you deserve a medal for that. It was fantastic.
Yeah, they're very brave, these stunt men and women who do these fire scenes, because, you know, they must be very scary to do.
I don't think they get enough credit.
Can you imagine doing your first one?
Oh.
I'll be bricking it. Anyway.
Well, let's go on a minute, because stunt men and women don't get.
No, I suppose not.
They are very brave people, even allowing for air mattresses, and it takes a lot of bottles to do what they do.
You know, and they do sadly, you know, died in accidents doing films.
So all you stunt men and women,
thank you
very much for giving us great
If you are a stunt lady or a stunt man, please subscribe.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's all. So yeah, Hollywoody Gambesons.
Right.
Gambesons. They're very Hollywood, aren't they?
Right.
There's more of them in these fights.
Well, why not? I mean, if we look at it sensibly, the actors playing it have been kept nice and warm.
Well, I suppose so.
One thing I remember on film sets is it can get rather cold.
Yeah, well, at least they're not manufacturing and showing some of these stupid fantasy ones, which they sometimes do. So it's nice to see Hollywood actually getting more Gambesons out there, because Gambesons are a great little item to have, and I was thinking about making another one day.
Yeah.
So, and then the next scene we see just round about this time is the fighting Saxon monk Bjorka, and I thought that was great, because monks did fight, didn't they?
Yes, there were warrior monks. There were different grades, if you like.
Yes.
They weren't all on the knees all the time. They actually did fight.
Amen.
Yeah. They actually did fight. Whether they were allowed to draw blood or not, I don't know, because I know Bishop Odo wasn't allowed to.
Yes, what a dude he was.
Yeah, but I mean, you think about it, you got wounded on the battlefield, off or say the last rites for them. But yeah.
And one thing we do see in this trailer and the series is a lack of helmets, and I don't know why that is really, because helmets are really good for safety.
Historically, they've got it about right, but I mean, safety-wise, you know, usually there's men in day-glow vests and plastic hats telling you to do this, that, and the other. The answer is I don't know. I mean, some had, some hadn't. What can we say?
Oh, yes, indeed. So the next scene we see is the battle scene of the two shield walls in the walled city, and I thought that was a really decent scene.
I love to see it where they
you got
get
that
the lines.
really nice. A few things about it was the lack of spears, because the spear was the most common weapon back in the day. So I would have liked to have seen a lot more spears.
That might have been a safety issue, I don't know.
Maybe so. Then you would have seen javelins being thrown, and also axes, let's face it.
To be honest, they could have used a computer and made it look like that.
I mean, if you're carrying two axes, you're going to definitely try to throw one into battle, aren't you?
Yeah.
And especially you got three on you, is the best choice. Because then, you know, you can drop one and still have two.
But no batwing axes, thank you.
Yes, well, you do often see those sort of axes from much later medieval times in the early movies. It's just a bit sad.
Yeah,
so, so in the next scene after this brilliant fight scene is the two towers at the gates. It's like old Romanesque buildings reused.
We had a little talk about that, because at first I said, oh no, it would be wood, but of course York a Roman city would have city walls and towers, and they would have fallen into disrepair. So they've actually got it right in retrospect. So
Yeah, that's
sorry
good.
to brag you on that one. They would have rebuilt in their style on top of the foundations of the Romans. So
I mean,
yeah.
would they have some masonry skills?
That's debatable. I mean, because the terms used in masonry are actually old Saxon woodworking terms. So
Well, perhaps that's
I'm sure
a good video idea there.
I'm sure there are people who were stonemasons. I mean, you got fonts for churches and things like that.
So, yeah, so that's a good point. That anyway, overall, you know, was there too much stone? That's debatable. We don't know. They certainly would have tried to reuse Roman structures when they could. I mean, certainly Athelwold reused. It was Chester, I believe, she went to, and basically rebuilt Chester from the Roman remains.
Well, you
So-
get an idea of Dark Age stone churches. The church at the end of Coppergate.
Yes.
remember?
It makes sense to do that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, yeah, nice. That's nice. I like that. And there's also a bit of life going on as well. It doesn't was like, a gatehouse and that's it. There was a bit of life going on.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's it. Cities and big places. Well, the places where people.
Yeah, and then the next scene is a battle scene in the wood. So yet again another battle scene, kind of setting the tone for the series, this episode
Yeah.
of the series. So that's good.
Again, effective, and the way they use the horses as well.
Yeah.
Which,
And it meant the next scene towards the end is the Vikings when they're charging to get through the gatehouse,
Yeah.
and they're all in kind of a
Loose.
disorderly manner, loose.
Loose formation.
But some of them have
Yeah.
got spears and some have got axes and some have got swords.
But they're mixing it up. a bit,
Sometimes too
yeah.
many swords in some of these fight
Yeah.
scenes. There won't be that many about.
Well,
But-
swords were expensive.
And in
Still
the
are.
scene of the Vikings, some of the shields were a bit clean. So
Yeah.
I would like to have seen a bit more damage, and they
I-
could have done that, spent half an hour, and made it look a bit more
Yeah,
effective.
but I think again, black and white shows up better, and I think that's what may
yeah,
have been.
but we don't know whether they CGI the patterns on this shield. We don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then we just got the scene at the end with Uhtred angry, looks angry, and that's very good acting when he's
Yeah.
confronting the Northumbrian king. So
Yeah.
overall, what are your thoughts on this trailer?
Overall, I will look forward to seeing it.
Yeah.
Well done, by the way, for the guys who made it and the actors and actresses. What
definitely.
I really like about that series is it shows Alfred as a king,
Yes.
not as this legendary nice guy. He was basically a medieval king. That's how they acted. That's how he stayed king. And well done on that. You can't make everything absolutely authentic. I mean, we come out from the height of our knowledge, which could be totally wrong in reality. We don't know, but it's what we know of what we've seen, and I think this time Hollywood's hit the nail on the head. So
Yeah,
well done,
yeah.
guys.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very good series overall.
Mm.
And what's great about it is that they're making people talk about the Dark Ages and about Alfred, and we need to remember such things.
This is it. Doesn't matter how ghastly it may be or inaccurate. You're actually having to be saying, "Hey, this is where we came from. This is what made you you." And yeah, I for one applaud the people for doing it. I hope it's a great success for you.
Oh, I think it is.
yeah.
It's just been brought by Netflix, so yes.
And if you want 2 stars,
Yes.
yeah, I know.
Yes, you're looking for any work.
Oh.
2 Viking storytellers.
But anyway, well done. So
Yeah, brilliant. I enjoyed it. So, if you've not seen the first trailer, I'll put that in a card of the first trailer's review for season 1, and we're also going to review season 3. So watch out for that, and they'll be in a card and also in a playlist of their own. Because let's face it, I think the Last Kingdom and especially the Vikings deserve a playlist for
Yeah.
these
I
reviews.
enjoy the Vikings. as
And we
well.
are planning in the future when we can coordinate it between the both of us to review and watch each episode together. So that will take time. So
Yeah.
bear with us. It might take us a couple of years to do that, but this is how committed we are. So,
Sure.
so if you like what you've seen, leave a comment. I'm sure you love your comments, don't you, Eggle?
Oh yes.
And until the next time, I am Braggy, your host. Goodbye.
And I am Egil, your co-host. Bye.
Subscribe.
Woof.